the Italian Football Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Mercato interview deep dive here on the Italian Football Podcast. My name's Nima Tavalla Ruzzari, and today we're going to focus on Atalanta. After we did Napoli with Vincenzo Credendino, we did Lazio with Valerio Marcangeli, we did Juventus with Mirko Di Natale, and last week Milan with Vito Angele. I'm absolutely delighted to do Atalanta with a journalist who who is probably the number one Atalanta expert to talk to. He wrote a book called Favola Atalanta together with Andrea Riscassi. He covers Atalanta for Tuttosport and other outlets. Welcome to the Italian Football Podcast, Fabio Gennari.
Thank you so much. What a wonderful presentation. Good afternoon to all.
But it's true. Favola Atalanta, I've only read like parts of it. I actually bought the book. I haven't had time to read all of it because it only arrived like 5-6 days ago. I've read parts of it. It's beautifully written.
And I have the second book in preparation.
Ooh.
The book was ready around October, and for now the title is a surprise, but
Okay.
is all oriented to the super night on Dublin, because we make a dream true. And I think is a beautiful story for the Atalanta, for the people of Bergamo, for Atalantini in the world, but also for all passionate football, football man, football woman, football kids. Is a very, very, very incredible story from
It really is.
world.
It really is. And I'm personally, I can tell you about me. I was raised in Gothenburg, and I have two teams I support. One is IFK Gothenburg, and one is Inter. And Glenn Strömberg is a legend of IFK Gothenburg, and he's also an Atalanta legend. And lots of people in Sweden who like Atalanta because of Glenn Strömberg. It's that Europa League win was just fantastic for everybody, and all the people in Bergamo, this tiny place where it shouldn't really be possible in this day and age for this to happen, but it's truly a favola, as you wrote in your book.
yes, a very, very favola.
Right, let's start with the Mercato. Atalanta have already signed Charles de Ketelaere, Ben Godfrey, Ibrahim Sulemana, and Nicolo Zaniolo on loan. Atalanta have sold Caleb Okoli, Nicolo Cambiaghi, Nadir Zortea, Duvan Zapata, Ibrahim Colley, and Giuseppe De Serio. But before we get into the players, I want to talk to you a little bit about the coach, because Giampiero Gasperini was rumored to be close to Napoli. Is it true that Napoli made an offer to him this summer, and how close was he to leaving Atalanta and join Napoli?
No, really no. Official offer was not made. Gasperini knew of Napoli's interest, but there was never really a moment where he could go to Napoli. The relationship behind Gasperini and Bergamo, with Percassi and Gasperini, with the players, and Gasperini is very, very, very strong. We will move forward together with great satisfaction for everyone. And I think very quickly the contract of Gasperini with Atalanta will be extended.
Okay. His current contract expires, is it June 2025?
Yes, but I think we can quickly and easily make a new contract on 2027. Also 2 years plus 2025.
Okay. So, but what is his plan? I mean, he's 66 years old now. How long do you think, how long does he see himself staying at Atalanta?
Well, I think that due to the way Gasperini works, the level that he has reached with Atalanta and his age, where Bergamo will be the last important place of his career. He
Hmm.
could perhaps return to Genoa one day, but today Gasperini is completely immersed in the social fabric of the city. He is adored for what he has done, and I believe we will remain here until the end of his career. For the people of Bergamo, Gasperini is a god.
Mm,
Is a best ever coach that
mm,
sit on the Atalanta bench.
mm. I mean, yeah. Do you think there is a chance that he could maybe take over the Italy job after the World Cup in 2026?
I don't know, but I say no. He's a coach who need to work with the players every day,
Hmm.
every single day, hard work, each 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 day of the week. Being the national team coach is another job, and I
Mm,
don't think it is suitable for his work model. Allegri is a better solution for Italy in the 2026,
agreed.
but not the coach like Gasperini. Gasperini really need every hour, every minute, every second in the days of work in the Zingonia, in this training center of each team that you work and that he work, and I think is only the way for Gasperini job that's better, where like when we see.
Mm. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, so let's talk about the players' ins that he could end up working with every day. Let's start with Matt O'Reilly. From what I understand, Atalanta have made 3 bids for O'Reilly at Celtic. So, what's the state of play regarding the negotiations, and do you think that he will end up joining Atalanta?
Well, this moment is a standby moment. To me, there is only one proposal worth 15 million euros, including bonuses. I believe that Atalanta will increase this proposal, and I think really could arrive in Bergamo. But now I can say when this could happen
Hmm.
because Matt really is a very, very, very big player. Is not joined with the Koopmeiners situation. Atalanta want to be more solution for Gasperini, and I think really is the first choice for Atalanta, independent of Koopmeiners.
Yeah, I mean, is he the replacement for Koopmeiners if Koopmeiners leaves?
In the list is possible, but it could happen even without the sale of Comenes. Where Atalanta doesn't want to sell Comenes. Really is a great player in Atalanta
Mm.
who focused above all on attack. It could really be an excellent upgrade for the solution available to Gasperini, but I repeat, is not joined the arrival of O'Reilly with the
Okay.
sale of Comenes.
So if Atalanta don't sign O'Reilly, what other alternatives are there?
I made a confession for you. There are many names on the table, but one of the characteristics of Atalanta transfer man is the silence.
Hmm.
All total continuous silence. Before a real name reaches the newspapers, negotiations are carried out without anyone knowing anything. Discretion is maximum, and the change only when the object is has disappeared or the negotiation is concluded with visit and signing of the contract. This is a very very important thing about the man of transfer Atalanta made every day.
Hmm. That's really interesting. Um, what about Kevin Danso? Atalanta have reportedly been in talks to sign the Lens central defender. Is this true? And what are the state of negotiations?
Yes, is the name true? Is not the only. Atalanta, if Jim City leaves, will have to be ready an high-level defender. Is necessary.
Hmm.
We talk about Danso, but also about Balerdi from Marseille and Gertruda for Feyenoord. Three of a lot of names We have other names in Bijol, Udinese, and other players. There are more profile, but it's an open discussion. Only if Jim City leaves. This is a condition.
Okay, we're going to talk about Gym City, but do you think that Atalanta will sign a central defender this summer, regardless of if Gym City leaves or stays?
I think no, because we have also Martin de Roon that can play in this position.
Okay.
Martin de Roon had played in that position over Kolasinac injury in Liverpool at the night with
Mhm.
3-0 of Anfield Road, and I think also Atebor is a solution. We have Toloi, we have Godfrey, just arrived. We have Kolasinac, we have Ian. It's a moment that Atalanta change our defensive players, not all in the same time, but I think Jim City Leafs can made a big level defensive player. In the other way, is not certain that Atalanta make this operation.
Another player that Atalanta's been linked to is the Corinthians winger Wesley. He's also wanted by Chelsea. Have you heard anything about this?
No, I've never heard of this name. Atalanta need a winger, need some player on the right side and on the in the left side, but I don't any heard never heard of this name of Wesley from Corinthians.
Okay. Marco Brescianini is someone who was really one of the more impressive youngsters in the Serie A last season. And it seems that Atalanta have been big fans of him for quite some time. But it looks like he's going to Napoli. Or are Atalanta still with a shot of getting him?
Marco Bresciani is a very, very, very interesting player, but it is a possibility. But that's even very in recent weeks, but which instead is now on standby. Like a Dream City situation, like a really situation. I don't know if I don't know if he will go to Napoli, but Atalanta certainly has other priorities in this moment, like center back player.
So they are going. So the central defensive position is a priority for Atalanta. I mean,
In this moment, yes, because the offer made it for Al Rayyan Qatar reality is very, very, very important for Jim City, but not in this moment for Atalanta. The Doha society don't made a great offer for Atalanta. For that, we are in a standby moment.
okay. Are there any other players that Atalanta are currently in talks with or considering making a move for?
I think only players who are not in the technical project and young people. Atalanta have more young players that play on under 23 team, but also the young player in the history of Atalanta move out for play in the second tier of a competition in Italy, Serie B, or third tier. With under 23 team, the third level is in the home, is in the home, is in the near in the near zone and in Zingonia, but the second tier with Serie B and also the first tier Serie A, but in the low level, which other teams in the low level of Serie A is also a great solution. Atalanta in that moment doesn't need to sell its best player. Economics feature of the society is very, very, very positive,
Very good.
and we don't have that necessity.
No, it's my colleague on the podcast, Carlo Garganese. He calls Atalanta pound for pound the best run club in the world, and it's hard to disagree with them. What Atalanta have done is unbelievable, not just on the pitch but also off the pitch.
I think that's the first model of football in the world for player in, player out, for the player trading, for the very, very, very high attention of economics things around all players. Atalanta made a new player in only if the economics are okay, or if the out players cover the new player expensive investment for the society. It's a very, very, very central point of strategy of Atalanta.
Yeah.
I think is is the better model in Europe. I don't know
Absolutely.
if other teams that reach high level like Atalanta made this model in these years.
I can't think of a single one. Are there any other positions on the pitch that Atalanta still wants to strengthen this summer? Any other position?
Well, I see the team and at least one midfielder on the right is needed to replace Holm, and then a defender. In attack, there is a Zaniolo as a new signing. If no one leaves, it will be difficult for other players to arrive. We spoke about the champions of Europa League team, and all players that play Dublin final, it's in this moment are in Zingonia, are in Atalanta. Well, I don't see very, very problems in the team. Only repeat one midfielder and of the right side, and a defender for the numeric solution.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about one of those players that you did sign. It's Nicolo Zaniolo, who's had quite the difficult career so far these past few years. Let's start with whose idea it was to sign Zaniolo. Was it Gasperini?
It's crazy. The idea was by Zaniolo. Gasperini confessed, yeah. Gasperini confessed in an interview on Corriere dello Sport that one day former player Marco Borriello,
Okay.
ex-player from Roma, from
Roma, Milan,
Atalanta,
yeah.
Milan, yes, called him to say that Zaniolo wanted to come to Bergamo. From this, everything was born. Gasperini told about that with D'Amico. D'Amico told with administrator Luca Percassi, and in a few days the operation was born because is an idea from Zaniolo. That's very, very, very crazy because Gasperini have very, very, very things that made eye player like the past. Zaniolo need this from return a point of reference for the Italian job, the Italian football, and I think under Gasperini he can make that.
So you think that he can become back to his best under Gasperini?
It is everyone belief. Nicolo was a great young talent. He's
Yes, he was.
99. He had serious injuries, and
Two.
now two injuries on the knee. And now he needs confidence and right environment to become great again. I think under Gasperini, he can make that.
That's crazy. Yeah, that thing about Gasperini, like the Zaniolo himself wanted to go into Atalanta. That's crazy. That's
Yes.
brilliant. And that Borriello of all people, like he's just,
Morello was the player of Gasperini.
yeah, I remember. Yeah,
The connection is that. And Zaniolo was in Galatasaray, but he searched a new solution for comeback in Serie A. Fiorentina was interested, but Gasperini and the Champions League possibility to play for Zaniolo is central in the decision.
okay. So where is he going to play? Is in the number 10 role in el tre quarti, if we put it
Yes,
like this.
yes.
That's his position. Okay.
Zaniolo can play as an attacking winger in 3-4-3 behind the strikers, or even as a true center forward like
Yeah, he can.
Scamacca. Gasperini
Yeah.
declared that he's planning some checks on this possibility because the Zaniolo is like Charles de Ketelare, a young player that great characteristic, and Gasperini won't checks his possibility or center forward Zaniolo behind Scamacca titular.
Let's talk about someone who, speaking of injuries, was very unlucky, Giorgio Scalvini. I mean, that was horrible. How is his recovery going, and when do Atalanta expect to have him back?
Very unlucky. Giorgio Scalvini. I think Scalvini will be able to return to the field between December and January. Is a LCA injury on the knee left, and I think around the end of 24 here is it's okay for this return for his return.
Okay, let's talk about players who are leaving. One of them, the main player that is being discussed and has been discussed for quite some time, is Koopmeiners. Juventus want to sign Koopmeiners, we know that, and there are also reports suggesting they're about to make a new bid. So, what's the state of the negotiations?
I say that Juventus has never made official offers to Atalanta, and Atalanta doesn't consider the sale of Koopmeiners in its strategies. It's unbelievable that every
Okay.
day at all newspaper we read that Koopmeiners come to Juventus, that Koopmeiners have reached terminal, personal terminal for the new contract with Juventus. But at now, Juventus has never made official offers to Atalanta, and this is not a detail because we will play with Real Madrid in 14 August. Now is the 13 July, and I think we don't have more days for attempt the Juventus offer. In Zingonia, all the group, all the players think about Real Madrid, Atalanta, and I think don't very well we can think about the transfer to other groups, and that's very important for me.
So, how much do Atalanta want? We've read 60 million. Is that true that Atalanta wants 60 million for Koopmeiners?
I think that it's a great route. We read in the newspaper that Juventus would like to offer 45 million, but Atalanta refused 47 million for Napoli 1 year ago. And today, after a season in which Koopmeiners was the protagonist and did very well, he made a goal, he made assist. At least 55, 16 million are needed for move Atalanta from his idea. That is not sell, don't sell Koopmeiners.
So that's interesting you say that because there have been reports that Atalanta had promised Koopmeiners that he could leave this summer for a big club. Are you
I
saying that that never happened?
I had read that. I only can say that in this moment we need offers and real money, not promises.
Yeah.
Promises are in the talk around player and society, but now at that moment, after more months, we read every day comments in newspaper. Now we need offers, real money from Atalanta, from Juventus, from Liverpool, from Manchester United, from the team that are interested to comments. We only need offers, real offers, official offers, and the
Yeah.
real money,
Not
not
just
promises.
talk. Not just talk.
Yes, it's not time to talk.
So, do you think there's a chance that he could end up staying then?
I think the change that we will remain in Bergamo are increasingly higher with each passing day. For because I had say before, Real Madrid is too near. 14 August is in few days. It's likely the most important appointment for Atalanta in the history, more than Dublino. And I think all players that win Europa Cup in Lublino want to play for the Super Cup in Varsavia with Atalanta. And I think that was a great street for the remaining of Koopmeiners can stay in Bergamo.
I think everyone, regardless of who they support in Calcio, wants Atalanta to beat Real Madrid in the Super Cup.
It's a dream. It's a dream. Real Madrid is a very, 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 very big team, but in football, every year can make a little bit historic games. I hope that Real Madrid Atalanta can would made from that.
So then we can conclude that Ederson and Scamacca and all the other big players, they're also staying unless somebody makes a crazy offer.
Crazy offer is every in every time is a great way to think about all operation, but I think we had no chance for that because Atalanta, I say, won the Europa League, returned in the Champions League, have a renovated stadium, gave stadium, have no budget problems, and have a lot of money to
Unbelievable.
invest. There is no need to give in.
Yeah, there's no need, like you said. But one player that it looks like he is going to leave is Alexei Miranchuk.
Yes.
How close is he to Atlanta United from Atalanta?
Yes, yes, it's a joke situation, but the office, the transfer is official from few hours. There
Okay.
is talk about 50 millions euros, including bonuses. It's a great sell. It's a player that not in the center of a technical project of Atalanta, but I think is a good solution for the player and also for Atalanta.
You mentioned Jim City as well, and you said that Al Rayyan made an offer, but Atalanta declined it. What's the like? Do you know if Al Rayyan? I mean, has Atalanta received any signals that Al Rayyan are going to make a relaunch, a new offer for Jim City?
I think it's necessary because Atalanta had a very low, almost ridiculous offers for his contract. Jim City, which valuated at 50 millions, like Miranchuk, and I think yes, we spoke about a backward player, but is a captain in the Dublin final. Is a very very important player for Atalanta, and I think all Al Rayyan that need to transfer Vera Jim City must made a good offer for Atalanta.
Agreed. There's also been some rumors about El Bilal Toure. Personally, I've read of Stuttgart, the Bundesliga outfit. I hope that he stays at Atalanta. Is there any truth to him leaving for Stuttgart?
That I know, just a request of information. Just El Toure was paid 30 millions 1 year ago. He was in a very very difficult situation for injury, muscular injury, very very
I
bad
remember.
injury, and we will try to see him in the pitch, and only if Atalanta received an offer that covered completely the 1 year ago investment,
Yeah.
we can think about El Bilal to relieve. In other situation, I think is impossible.
Yeah, same here. What about any other Atalanta players could leave this summer? I mean, is there anything right now that we can talk
Yes,
about?
we have 1 month ago to the transfer period, but I think only second tier and the younger players can
Yeah.
leave Atalanta.
And
Is that the way?
Unless somebody comes with crazy money.
Yes, yes. It's never a detail, but
Yeah.
is a characteristic of Atalanta, and I think is unique
Yeah,
Atalanta
it
in
is.
that in
It
that
is.
in that in that situation.
It is. I want to talk a little bit about Atalanta going into the season,
Mhm.
what the objectives are. I personally think Atalanta is the dark horse to win the Scudetto. Not favorites, but I think if they are, they could. I can see them winning it if they have the perfect season.
Is
What do you
very,
think?
very, very emotional here and that, but I say to you a little bit about Bergamo and people of Bergamo story.
Mm,
Bergamo and the people of Bergamo are simple people. Few words and a lot of works. Every
mm,
day, every month, a lot of work. Only with work, Gasperini demonstrated that. Can you go the top? Gasperini say in the last month that Atalanta won the Europa League not because they were the strongest, but because they were the best. Is a
mm,
fantastic definition for
mm.
Atalanta Europa League won. There is a desire to still be very very good. I think that Atalanta can made another incredible season. Don't like the past, but because it's very 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 difficult. But Scudetto is a word that around Bergamo, around Zingonia, around Atalanta is absolutely not permitted to talk about because repeat Bergamo people, Atalanta
Mm,
people, but that all fun,
yeah.
the major part of fun for Atalanta was born in Bergamo and in the zone around Bergamo. And
Mm,
this is the zone that Bergamo people only think around work. And
yeah.
behind the work and through the work, we can make the dream true.
Okay, so if the Scudetto, if the S word is forbidden for
Okay.
reasons of scaramanzia, can we say the UCL word, the Champions League? Because in my opinion, honestly, I think the football that Atalanta have played, and they've showed it as well, it's a football that you reap the reward more in Europe than you do in the Serie A, who's far more tactical. So is there a possibility of something absolutely crazy happening in the Champions League?
I say that in 2020 I was in Lisbon.
Mm,
In
mm,
Lisbon in the quarter final,
yeah.
one way
One
match,
minute. One
one
minute.
way match, 1 minute match. Pasalic goal made 1-0 from Atalanta for Atalanta against Paris Saint Germain.
Mm,
I remember that last 2 minutes are crazy.
mm,
We lost 2-1, but I think Atalanta think about get as high as possible. We don't made an objective of a quarter final, of semi final, or 18 finals. We made every single match in this season. We have a new Champions League situation. Is
yeah.
like a season, a small Serie A. Is
Yeah.
more is more is more. We have one Classifica. We have
Many.
many very very like
Mm,
difficult teams, but we see in 29
mm,
August in Monte Carlo that Atalanta where Atalanta go to play, and
mm.
we speak later.
Yes, ne parliamo.
Ne parliamo.
Ne parliamo dopo. Okay, but just before I let you go, you spoke about the people of Bergamo and they don't talk, they work hard. But they surely, just winning the Europa League was an incredible sense of pride and accomplishment. But being in the Super Cup against Real Madrid, Kylian Mbappe, all these superstars, I mean, how excited and proud are the people of Bergamo?
This is a historic event. a match that perhaps could happen to Atalanta once in history. There will be around 6,000 fans in Warsaw. It will be a magical night. The public waits this match with great emotion, and the players also have the same spirit. I think I think that after Dublino is the first possibility to play at this level. I think that was the unique. I hope no, but I think it's very, 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 very difficult to reach this level. But I think the emotions arrive before the result of the final. The final was important to win, but Atalanta is not very, very habituated in these games. Real Madrid made 15 Champions League wins, but only 5 Super Cup wins.
Yeah.
I think that for Real Madrid is a small Super Cup, and I think it's not important for Real Madrid the Super Cup. I think that for Atalanta is more important. Real Madrid and Carlo Ancelotti that say they can they can consider this match with a friendly match for
Yeah.
for Real Madrid. I say that, but I don't believe in that very well.
I know. All football fans, all Calcio fans can relate to this because it's the lies we tell ourselves to make ourselves feel good and make it better.
Is the Davile behind Golia match? Is the biggest, which smallest, but the smallest had win the Europa League, and I think the Atalanta players can made proud of us, all the fans, for Atalanta fans and for football fans in the world.
100%. And I think I can speak for everyone listening to this, regardless of if they're an Interista, Milanista, Juventino, Roma fan, Lazio, Napoli, whatever. I think everyone feels like this, that if their club doesn't win the Scudetto, if their club doesn't win the Champions League, I think everyone is rooting for Atalanta because of the fact that it's a crazy story. It shouldn't be possible in this insane money ball globalized football that we live in for a club like Atalanta to exist. And I think most people it would be good for football even. I would go so far as to say that.
I think that an history more emotional from, for example, Leicester history. Leicester win the Premier League
Yeah.
is the biggest competition for clubs in the world. But after this, Leicester is go down.
Yeah.
Atalanta from 8 years is at the top of Serie A competition, is 6 times in Europe competition. The next season is the fourth Champions League participation. I think is very, very, very incredible and crazy for the little situation that like Atalanta in Bergamo and in the Serie A.
It's crazy. It really is a favola. It really is a favola.
Yes, really the favor.
Thank you so much for joining us, Fabio. If people want to find you on social media, which platform are you on, and what is your at so they can follow you?
You can. I'm in Facebook and in Instagram, like Radio Dea is my page, and is the page and where every day I put the last news around Atalanta, and I wrote in Tuttosport, I wrote in Prima Bergamo, but Radio Dea is my point of entries for all Atalanta interested.
Okay. When is the book coming out?
The book is necessary for fix in the history that I'd seen. I think around end of September
Nice.
October is ready. I had made in few weeks. Is now in the final edition, final reading,
Yeah.
but I think is very, very, very emotional book, but because I must to fix the all matches played in Europa
Ah.
League
Ah.
with prima, durante, and dopo
Ah.
chapter.
Oof.
I need to fix the situation before the match, during the match, and
And
after the
after.
match, in context with Coppa Italia competition,
Yeah.
Serie A competition. We had seen Atalanta play the final of Cup of Italy in Rome
Yeah.
with Juventus, and 7 days later the Dublin final with Bayer Leverkusen. It was a season very, very, very crazy, and I try to write it on the paper, all the emotion that I had in my heart on um, 13 matches in Bergamo and around of Europe. I was present
Wow.
in all
That's amazing.
matches.
We'll definitely be sharing the links to that book when it's out. I'll be buying it.
I made that. Okay.
I'll be buying it. And when I come to Milan and you're in Milan, I would love it if you could sign a copy for me as well.
Yes, we join.
Perfect. Thank you so much again, Fabio. Everybody else, we will be back tomorrow for the Q&A episode. Make sure to stay tuned for that. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Ciao, ciao.